Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series. I'm Nathanius, joined by Cole Taryn, and it's time for the decider match of Group B for bonkers, because, boy, that last match was crazy.
It was just out of this world, Nate. It's completely bonkers. I love it. It's going to be great. DnS taking on HeroMarine here. Who you got?
Well, if HeroMarine was the guy on top of the yacht, just kind of like relaxing while everyone else was working, DnS, he's maybe one of the ushers on the boat. He's helping people get across the little bridge, you know, because sometimes it wobbles a little bit.
Yeah, it can be a little scary.
There's only like a thin rope on either side. He's making sure that no one falls over. But he wants to sneak onto the boat himself and actually be a guest and just hang out and have a good time.
Right, exactly. He's like going to take the hand and throw him off the boat.
Yeah,
his
so
boat
that's his plan, right? And then sneak in and enjoy the the free whatever.
Right.
The experience, maybe put on a large hat that covers half of his face. So the potential for a big upset is here.
It is.
Without even using my own commentary, Twitch chat during the break there made it seem very clear that there was absolutely no possible way that a Terran could beat a Protoss. So
absolutely.
That could be DNS's way to an upset, is selecting the Protoss race. Thank you, Twitch chat, for your deep breakdown of the matchup.
Why don't we just have Twitch chat cast these? Like, if they have such great insight, like I think.
Well, that's actually the whole secret to my career. Is I'm just a conduit. I'm actually an AI-driven bot that is that just feeds off of that with a lot of sensors, a lot.
That's phenomenal. That explains so much. As this guy is going to be spawning up in the top left-hand side in the red, our Protoss player looking to escape this group. He's DnS. Adrian Boat. What?
That's the most American way we could butcher a poor European's name. In the bottom right, as the blue Terran player, he is HeroMarine Gabriel Segan. That's how I would. That's how I would try to, if I wanted to American a name.
Americanize a name, yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I can't do accents or flexing anything like that. No, it's not the way.
Just
garage.
It's a garage. A garage.
No, that's how. Yeah. Sometimes they say it garage. In England or whatever, garage. It's just such a.
It's like why?
But why? But why?
But why? Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing over there?
Why can't you guys just talk normal? Like, what's the deal? Oh boy.
Apparently, I combined the two words in my head because I'm bad at the game. But when I said Trejos, apparently, I was just slurring très gros, which would be very big, apparently in French.
Oh, in French. Okay.
Twitch chat had me. You know, I mean, gross means disgusting, so I don't know why they decided to pick that word for big in French, but you know what? Maybe one day they'll fix that in their dictionary and they'll just use the word big too.
Yeah, well, I imagine a lot of the people who would have changed that pronunciation probably got guillotined at some point.
Yeah,
a lot of that went around. A lot of that went around.
That might be it. Well,
back in the day.
Thank God we have the 8th Amendment. As the Cybernetics score is going to finish up, we'll see what tech DnS wants to go for. Drogo had the very weird first game against HeroMarine, and then in game 2, Drogo just kind of backhanded him. Like he just destroyed. Yeah, he swatted the build.
He was swatting at a fly and happened to hit him and just knocked him out cold.
So we know what happens when Drogo turns off his limiter, but is DnS going to be able to make a similar, I'll say it, upset happen? HeroMarine, widely regarded as one of, if not the best, foreign Terran players. And by foreign, of course, we mean not Korean, because the Koreans are just better than us at everything, except being Cyril.
Yep.
But this isn't the episode with Cyril, you know?
Yeah,
this is kind of like one of those side episodes where you're like, I don't know what's happening with the main plot, but we're going to follow some of the other
Exactly. Like this is, you know, like we're not following Frodo and Sam.
Yeah, we just cut to like the elf village and they're just having some dramatic argument that doesn't really mean anything in the great scheme of things.
Exactly. They're having some nice tea, you know, yelling about something.
Yeah. Actually, this one might even be, this match in particular we might even just be back in the Shire. We're just like, I wonder what everyone's up to out there.
Check in on Sam's wife-to-be, see how she's doing.
Yeah, because it's like the character exists in the universe, but do they actually do anything as far as the main plot goes? No. No, they don't.
Yeah, the main plot, like, you know, they have their good development episode and then show up against the main character and
it's like maybe one day in like a sequel, HeroMarine takes a game or a match off of Cyril, but in a tournament, I don't see it happening. That being said, that's kind of that's the funnest part of Challenger is who's gonna try to beat Cyril and lose. Usually, that's Rainer, and he's become the guy that can win.
Yeah.
But that, you know, his group was yesterday, so we don't get to talk about him until the
23rd, I think.
23rd Europe finals?
I think for Europe, yeah, and 24th for NA. Yeah, still quite a bit of time until we see the Cyril killers. Right now we have the Cyril fodder.
Cyril tomorrow or
he's
Sunday? He's Group D, okay.
I believe so.
Group D for death. It just makes so much sense.
Yeah, and
RoboBay and a Forge.
Yeah.
Colossi are so hot right now.
They really are, and I'm liking it. I'm liking seeing Colossus again. It's a fun time. You know, gives me those good Heart of the Swarm vibes. As well as early Legacy. You know, I'm just really a fan of the Colossus play, and people have been playing it to great effect today.
Very good against the Marines and the armies.
Mm-hmm. And especially with how late people have been getting adding on Vikings in the past couple days. Even when seeing the Colossus, is there a reason for that? Like, are Vikings less prioritized in the current meta for Terran, or is it some other thing?
Well, Vikings, generally speaking, they're just really flimsy. It's the biggest problem. And Terran players don't get transformation servos, especially when they're playing bio. So there's this just weird thing where even though Vikings are good against Stalkers, they suck against every other Protoss unit.
Right.
So if you build a lot, and I don't think it's bad to build a lot of Vikings versus Colossus, because players have gotten really good at dealing with Liberators, and the Liberators don't feel like they do as much. But I don't really know, to be honest. There's a whole bunch of different ways to do it. Like, we had the Phoenix Colossus earlier today.
Yeah.
And that looked surprisingly good if the Protoss had researched Thermal Lance.
Right, if it gotten Thermal Lance, and yeah, I was really intrigued by that, with how much room the Phoenixes can open up for your Colossus to be a little bit more aggressive as these drops continue to do just a little bit of damage. Overall, good response by DnS, not losing too much off that last one.
It's the benefit of having realistic expectations of what you can do with your units, though. Because what HeroMarine has done thus far in this game is he's basically just kind of taken a couple probes here and there, but because he's not YOLOing it, he's still got his mines. He still has the medevac. He can bring it over to reinforce this bio attack. And now, with Stim, it won't be as bad for him to try and do something with the main army and also split off a medevac, because now he just has access to more medevacs. So that's always nice. He's going to try to do a mine drop. He's going to try to do the drop on the left. DNS's observers, by the way, I hate the siege mode on them so much. But he sees everything.
Yeah, great intel for DNS as this three-pronged attack moves into position. Stim and +1 done. +1 already done for DNS as well, as the Widow Mines not going to be able to do much. Here goes the battle from the other side, targeting out his Colossus.
Oh, gets 9 probes. Ay, ay, ay.
Massive.
Unfortunately, loses the majority of his army right-clicking on a Colossus that he does not kill, but the drop in the main is going to land. Look at that micro. Picking up the Marines that the photon cannons are shooting at, and Big Gabe making big plays onto that probe line. Very well done. Very well done.
Very great start here. 12 workers going down, equalizing that worker count, 52 all around, as that third command center finishing up for HeroMarine.
That observer sees the next set of medevacs that move out, though.
Man,
really
such great map vision. Yeah, really well placed with all of these. As Colossus production continuing on the backside of this and getting that +1 armor as well. A little bit unusual that we see the +1 attack come out from DNS sooner. Been seeing a lot of Protons prioritize the armor upgrade first.
That Colossus is really exposed. YOLOing on eating your army out of Colossus is one of the greatest ways to throw a game. Oh my god, he doesn't get it.
Wow.
Now, Terran players, when you guys complain about Gabriel potentially losing this game, I want you to remember that moment, because holy crap, he threw his whole army away and didn't kill a single unit there.
Yeah, that was less than ideal, as now the drop unloading again here in the main base. Got 7 kills with that natural. I mean, he is getting some nice damage on the backside, despite some questionable movements with his main
force. What does Simulator
force
ever do to you? Now, I will say, if he does kill that Colossus, with that YOLO, everyone in chat's like, Pog, great play, can't believe him. Wow, Big Gabe's so smart. Colossus has 2 hit points remaining, by the way, for anyone curious. 1 more hit from any of those units would have done it.
Man. So close.
Bunker build time increased by 3 seconds.
+2 getting started up here for DnS. That blink is just about done.
2 medevacs, no help.
Oh my goodness.
You're gonna do really?
No. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh wait, okay. Stalker's out of position. Okay.
All I can think in my head is not like this. I mean, he could lose everything here again.
Oh, this.
He lost most of the bio that he dropped in. He does get the medevacs out. That's nice.
Yeah, keeping those.
Good mine hits.
Oh
too.
wow.
Good
Yeah.
stuff with extra stalkers, and the ones that live are very hurt.
Okay, blink now done. HeroMarine gonna have to be even more
They
careful.
just patched in this wonderful ability. It's called Repair.
It's I hear you can spend minerals to restore the health on your mechanical units. That's wow.
Yes. The
What a-
medevacs, as their health goes down, my blood pressure rises, and that's not just because I eat American food.
My goodness. Bringing him back home. Hopefully gonna heal these up. Otherwise, this could go very, very wrong for him. There we go.
Can I just say our Terran players in WCS recently have been doing a much better job about maintaining their medevac counts, though?
Yeah, they really have.
You know, I can't
on
wait
top of
till
it.
we get to see Masa play again, so I can see a Terran with 1.5 medevac stimming their bio 7 times until they lose everything to 1 round of zealots.
And then people will still be confused, like, man, how did Terran lose that fight? They had so much bio. Just, it's absurd. Concussive Shell's gonna help with yeeting his entire army into these Colossus.
I was gonna say, you gotta be careful with the language that you're using here on WCS, Cole Terran. You know, Terran players have never been outplayed in a professional match by a Protoss before.
You're right. Never in the history.
No.
Every Terran loss has been
When a Terran wins, it's all skill. When a Terran loses, it's David Kim's fault, and he hasn't even been on the team for a few years now.
Yeah, it just goes to show how deep his hatred for Terran really was, you know?
He was able to create such lasting scars. He is getting a lot of Vikings out. We have a Prism making its way towards the natural as the big push from Gabe does come out.
I love this move from DnS, keeping those Stalkers active, sniping
Black
down some of those
charge.
Vikings as it's coming through. Oh yeah, that is very sad indeed.
Those are very sad zealots.
Oh man.
That's Roddy not in the club.
Okay, man, Stalker's still picking off more of these Vikings. Still a pretty decent count though, 10 alive.
4 Colossi? No. You're not, no. Nope. How many Vikings is this year? 10? No. Not a chance.
How many Vikings does it take to volley a Colossus?
I think you need... It's gotta be... Okay, 10 times 20 minus 2 per each shot for the armor minus 4 for each Guardian Shield. Takes a while.
It does indeed.
That was a really good EMP, though.
That was...
The EMP and the Sentry, there's no Guardian Shield, so that was actually really sick. I changed my mind.
Wow. Yeah, that was a really nice
play
fight.
of all time.
Nova's trying to come out here, desperately trying to save this Nexus, but HeroMarine now in great position, 103 to 71. That army supply count and rising as the Vikings have landed. The Gundams are out.
It's so... I can't believe Charge was so late in this game. That still really confuses me.
Yeah. Oh,
It's one good
shot.
shot.
More Warpins coming through.
The upgrades are even, which is always good for Terran. Like, if you're a Terran and you're getting even upgrades with Protoss, you're really happy. Like,
absolutely.
These armies usually can only work like this when you have like a huge lead. I guess the Disruptors don't care as much about him. He does have a lot of Disruptors.
Yeah, if he's able to land these shots, he might be able to push this back. Finally got a couple goes with that last one. More Warpins coming through, but it's all Stalkers.
Not actually blinking back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he had Blink.
He had Blink.
He had Blink,
He
just was...
just didn't blink.
Maybe liked the feel of concussive shells into the Stalkers' faces. Maybe they, just wanted to see what losing was like for once.
Possibly.
Yeah, no, that was...
They slow down the movement. Did they slow down their thinking? Is it like a relaxant for Stalkers?
Yeah, maybe so. Shells? Maybe it's just like packed up in a cannon, just a little bit of brain lag going into
That could be
him.
it. That could be it. We'll take the Stalkers into the blue tent and make sure that they're okay so they can continue to play.
Yeah. We have a medic on duty, right? Should be able to take care of them.
Weird game.
Yeah.
I think the big takeaways from that first map, some of the medevacs got very low, but he did keep pretty much all of them alive.
Yeah.
a few slip-ups with the amount of units he threw into like the Colossi, but there was never really a good counterattack or harass by DNS. And the other big thing, charge was really late. And the one moment where he got the Prism in, he got to drop the 4 Zealots, but barely any units needed to defend it because they were 4 slow Zealots.
Exactly. You know, if those 4 Zealots have charge, he's able to get another round of Warpins with that potentially even.
Then it turns into a nightmare.
Exactly. Such a hard situation to deal with, especially if he's able to start cutting off those reinforcements, getting between the bases, messing with the rallies. And instead, we saw him, like you said, hold it with a few units.
And the Vikings killed the Prism, but I think if he goes just to like the tip on the north end of the natural and he immediately warps in, I think he gets a warp in of Zealots. Absolutely. If he has charged, when you get 10 Zealots in your opponent's base, that's how you win, because then HeroMarine doesn't get to micro his army the way that he does. Maybe he doesn't land those EMPs, and maybe he just dies a horrible, painful death to a disruptor shot because he's trying to micro against Zealots in his main.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, just why they want to make that happen, you know? Great defense by HeroMarine, capitalizing on these mistakes from DNS, not having those upgrades, and then not blinking as well at the end. You know, with some of those units, might have been able to survive a little bit longer, but it was a very well-executed push from HeroMarine as well.
At that point, I guess the game was over. He did have a 4th command center that he was moving over to take, and a Protoss player on 3 bases. Really, Protoss on even bases with Terran is always bad for Protoss, in this metagame at least. Which is funny because it used to be that Terran always had to be a base up, but that's not how it works anymore.
Yep, Mules, good unit, getting their economy going. And yeah, it's going to be a good time here, guys, as the players are ready. It's going to be Acropolis here for map number 2.
It's crazy to think, though, that it used to be that Vikings were the only unit you could build, and they weren't good against Stalkers, and they actually just weren't good at all, really. You're like, if you built too many Vikings, you're like, yeah, now you just build High Templar, and like Terran loses because they overmade them. But there's a bit of better utility between having Liberators as options and also the Vikings being good against like a lot of Stalkers. In that situation, they were also very good against the Disruptors.
Yeah.
So they're mechanical as well.
Exactly. It was very nice to see that, see it actually get utilized in that way.
As we go into game numero dos here for the final match of Group B in WCS Europe Challenger. In the bottom right of Acropolis, we have the red Protoss player down 0-1. He is DNS.
Facing off against this guy up in the top left-hand side, looking to secure the final ticket out. It's HeroMarine.
Now, here's my real question for you. This one's a brain buster. In fact, I invite Twitch chat to try and figure this one out as well. Can we take a look at DNS's Nexus while his probe runs around? All right. What would you say this is made of, if you had to guess?
Like, material-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Looks like it can't be gold.
Yeah.
I'd say like brushed aluminum or steel.
Okay. How do you think it operates? Do you think it's just like magical energy that goes through it, or is there some I think it's machinery at play?
Well, are probes sentient? Do probes have life?
Probes are mechanical, so they're like robots.
Built, right? So I feel like on the inside of that it's just a big assembly line, or like a big machine that's just pumping out probes.
Now here's my next question for you.
Okay.
How is it then that no Protoss building is classified as mechanical? Only the probes and some of the units are machines, but none of their infrastructure are machine-based at all. Not even photon cannons. Vikings don't do bonus damage to any Protoss building, but Terran buildings, of course, machine-based, right?
Right, and they get classified as that, right?
Yeah, and Vikings destroy Terran buildings, but why do Vikings not do bonus damage to Protoss buildings? It's because they run on magic. They are actually all magical constructs.
You're exactly right. That has to be it.
Yeah, it's like Mumbo Jumbo's skull building. That's all it is. It just runs on magical or dark energy. But whatever it is, it's not mechanical.
No.
In any nature.
Yeah.
There's no machinery involved.
Just a bunch of space wizards.
Which actually does make some sense because they warp stuff in. They don't build anything in those buildings.
Yeah.
It does raise the question of where exactly the pylon's energy comes from, though.
Oh, man.
We're
going down a deep rabbit hole here.
Yeah. It's food for thought.
The lies of the Protoss finally exposed. as Depth not going to be able to do anything here.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of information.
It's a bit of a Mysterio situation, if you ask me. Protoss actually don't have anything. They just make it look like they do.
It's just all...
it's all in your
fake.
head.
Wow.
Imagine that the reality is that it is just projectors on the field, and losing or having units killed by Protoss is actually just them destroying themselves, because the Protoss instead are completely psychokinetic and get inside your
Wow.
head and make you think you're fighting armies.
They make your body think you're dead, and so then you actually die.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. What a terrifying force.
Yeah,
I mean, how
it's
are
an
you supposed to beat
entire
that?
enemy invasion, but it's all psychological.
Wow.
None of DNS's units are actually here.
He's not even actually building workers right now. Like, this
Exactly.
money, it's all in our minds.
Exactly. Of course, as feeble-minded humans, we have to see stuff so that we can talk about it, because we are sight-based creatures,
Indeed.
tragically.
Our poor limited minds cannot comprehend the majesty of these Protoss mind games. As
Yeah.
Oracle getting the scout off here.
And that's an even like extra degree, right? Where it's already in your head, but now it's meant to look like it's also in your head, and then you question yourself.
The double fake.
Exactly. He's going to go for a Raven, though, which I like. It's a very smart play.
Very safe. A lot of utility coming out from that unit as well, as you were saying that last series.
Yeah. I just imagine that every game versus Protoss is just like Shutter Island, you know? At the end of the day, it's just some Terran player building stuff on a map thinking that aliens are showing up, but, you know, the only people that ever see them have very low quality cameras or are just crazy. Blink is almost done, though. Going into a forge, you have 3 bases. This is all very standard as far as the Protoss side of things go, and I like that HeroMarine's getting the Raven because interference matrix is just really good.
It's fantastic.
As any Terran will tell you, and I'm surprised that so many Terrans skip it in the other matchups. Versus Zerg, it's not as big of a deal, because you actually can't use it against anything other than
I guess we're just
queens
queens,
early.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and Zerg usually has so many queens it doesn't matter, and then you can't even kill those queens because they just get transfused. But like in TvT, if you don't build Ravens, you literally lose every single game.
Yeah.
You cannot
Every
win.
time.
You cannot win TvT without Ravens early on, or you're just playing against people who are tremendously bad. But against Protoss, that Raven usage has been going up as people are like, you know what? Protoss doesn't have siege tanks, but I realize these big, you know, 3-story tall mechanical,
Death lasers.
and those Colossi are machines, but yeah,
You're right.
those can be shut down with the interference matrix, and it is very good against them.
Yeah. Also, very potent against warp prisms, being able to deny that micro potential
Yeah.
from the Protoss
The
as well.
prisms cannot even unsiege when they are hit by that too, so they are just stuck. The Immortal's barrier cannot be triggered while an Immortal is hit by
really?
interference matrix. Yep.
Interesting.
Did you know that if you use it against an observer, the observer will not be able to detect?
Wow, I did not actually know
If you
that.
sent a Raven with a bunch of Banshees, you'd have 10 seconds where the observer is useless if you had that Raven sneak in an interference matrix.
That's great. Pro tactics coming out here. As looks like I think Gabe's gonna be moving out through the center of the map with this Raven in tow. No AoE on the side of DNS just yet. Gateway units and
I
the Immortal.
love the pressure from the Stalkers
So
here.
smart.
And now he's like, all right, 2 Marines, nice meme. I'm just going to chill here, kill stuff.
Oh,
and
so nice.
By the time more units show up, he should be able to blink away. Ooh, that's an adventurous blink. Okay, he recalls.
Get out of there.
He loses 2 Stalkers there. And we have this big push now from HeroMarine up onto the 3rd. There are a good amount of sentries. Gets the Dorito. Oh, okay, no Dorito cannon. Interference matrix on the Immortal.
Yeah, just on one of them. Second one's still available. Not a ton of energy left on that Raven.
Still like to see a Dorito cannon. Okay, he hits the sentry to get rid of the Guardian shield. And meh.
It's, yeah.
It's giving me some vanilla ice cream vibes. Like, it's good, but like it's not, you know, it's not blowing my mind.
Yeah, you know, it's
It's gonna lose everything.
yeah, he's going to get completely cleaned up here. And DNS now looking pretty solid, right? +2 armor on the way. Charge just about finished up. Was able to hold that prior to having Robotic
I
Spay
really
or High
like
Templar.
this. Yeah, I mean, HeroMarine lost a lot of SCVs, and his 3rd is only just now finishing. So he's gonna plant his 3rd while the 4th base is going up for DNS. And DNS is a rich boy, so
Yeah, this is the dream come true for Protoss right now. Adding on another Forge Going to be continuing to add on more of these gateway units, pumping out from that 8-gate production that we have. I mean,
you know what else sucks about the way that push went? He lost the Raven. The Observer can see everything, and DNS says, "Oh, I can kill that." Like, oh, that's fine. I'm going to kill that.
Yeah, he is like, okay, all your game is belong to me.
You focus down the Marauder or two, maybe kill a medevac, but like this army is very scary. And there's the scan. There's the why is he thinking he can attack me scan?
All right.
Oh my God! Look where he's going to take that command.
That is bold.
He could almost. How many stalkers are there? There's just enough to maybe not. Okay, Marine count's getting high enough again that he's okay, but 4th base. Finishing up for DNS, so he's got money.
Yeah.
He does have charge this game, though, so he's got that going for him, which is nice.
Yeah, tons of money in the bank with those 73 workers and climbing here for the red Protoss as HeroMarine looks to apply some pressure, but as we've been saying, this army, not great. Widowmines are nice, though, especially against these charge lots as they move forward, trying to drag those shots over the bio.
Good control. So there's 3 mine shots available.
Very nice so far, but here comes this War Prism. This is so unfortunate timing for HeroMarine.
And he's got charge this time on it, so that's nice too.
Oh,
now
big
the
warp in.
Oh,
there
no.
it is.
Tearing nightmares.
All right.
Thankfully, a production wave just finished, so he actually does have something here to deal with this. But it's like, you can't do anything with your main army while this happens. And the Observer sees everything too in front of the 3rd.
Good target fight here with the Zealot, just maximizing as many SCV kills as he can here. 6 going down, 7 going down. He's already in such a restricted economy situation.
Oh, no. Okay, well, you know what? HeroMarine fell for one of the classic blunders. Do you know what's about to happen in this game?
What's about to happen, Nate?
Look at that production tab. Look at that one upgrade. The upgrade that makes every Terran player think this matchup is broken because they didn't build an armory. Once you have +3 armor versus +1 attack Marines, Zealots are literally unkillable. HeroMarine has a very small window now to try and get some stuff done while that upgrade researches. He's going to pick off a Colossus on the right, and that's nice, but he's still fighting +2 Zealots, and that's not going to work. GG. DNS ties this series up. Very well done. Just very well done by DNS is all I have to say. The moment that HeroMarine left his base to do that little move out with the Raven, Stalkers kill a ton of SCVs, forces attention, cleans up a little bit of the reinforcements, and if he wanted to directly reinforce, well, he couldn't because he had to keep his units at home to deal with the Stalkers that were harassing his economy.
Really well executed by DNS, yeah, and HeroMarine, you know, just seemingly never able to get the half step ahead that he needed to, right? Was always having to respond to DNS, always having to, you know, kind of play catch up, as it were, and you know, being down an entire base, you know, just straight up without really too much forcing, other than the one stalker move in. Yeah, I'm really impressed by DNS there in that second game, and HeroMarine, uncharacteristic, right? I really want to see him bring it back in this 3rd game. Yeah.
We're going to Tom Cruise 84 for map 3.
Solid map.
It's a very fun map. I would love to see some shenanigans out of DNS again, but he played that game really well. Acropolis is a good macro map.
Absolutely.
And like I said, it's not really even so much like HeroMarine strategy is bad. I do think the concern was in force fields, but I would have rather him try to get a Dorito cannon in the middle of that army. It's way too good.
Yeah,
it puts the shields into negative. So just for context, if you guys don't know, the way that it works is if an Immortal has 100 shields and you hit it with the Dorito cannon and your Marines have +1 attack, they normally do 7 damage to those shields because Protoss doesn't have shield upgrades early on. But they would do 10 damage per hit to the shields because they get +3 on the shields, and then against the armor, I think it ended up being 9 damage if he has +1, or maybe 8 damage. So it's still really nice. You're doing extra damage,
it adds up so much. You know, all that extra damage compounding on each additional.
You've got
Marine
10 Marines shooting for 3 extra damage over the course of 5 seconds. You blow things up. Math is good. Get educated. Well, we're watching. It's actually WCS Europe. All these guys have education.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, free.
What am I saying? We're the only ones that struggle there. We're loading into game number 3 as we find out who's going to make it in 2nd place from Group B for Bacon.
For Bacon.
Yeah, Bacon, because we're going to America after this match, so now I'm going to say Bacon.
Solid. delicious and crispy as this guy looks to start
greasy.
off bottom left-hand side in the red. He's DnS.
And his opponent in the northeast, our German Terran competitor, he is HeroMarine. Oh man, he sent that probe out so early, and for some reason, I started to get hopeful about cannons.
That would have been very fun. I would have liked that.
If anybody knows a Terran streamer or someone who has actually been able to beat cannons on this map, I would really love to see some VODs. Seriously, hit me up with some clips, whatever. I'm usually in the chat or like Twitter, whatever, because I cannot beat people who do cannons on this map.
Really? It's just are there
that
that many
spot
spots
in
you
the
can
natural. No, just the natural.
Just the one.
It's a 3 pylon spot, but it's so awkward to try and run around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is not related to the game. I'm just asking for help. This is a cry for help, guys. Okay. But he's doing ye old double gateway memes. This is the build that made Terran players start proxying every game because it's basically an auto win versus a Reaper expand when you don't scout it. And he didn't SCV scout. So unless he sees this in the natural right now, he is going to be in a heap of trouble because it's not even that he's doing this. It's also that it's so far forward, he is going to be able to build batteries off that pylon. He doesn't even need another pylon to put shield batteries in the natural.
Yeah, and shield batteries make this, go from hard to hold to near impossible to break through until you have just an overwhelming force. And that's going to give DnS so much time to play with here.
Yeah. Yep. That Reaper runs around. Does he see the gateway from there?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So he knows now. But, okay, immediately cancels the barrier, the command center. That's very smart. He's got the bunker started on the high ground. This is the best thing for him to do. I know it sucks.
Ooh, is that the only pro?
It does get better. He could deny the bunker, though. I think a preemptive SCV pull would be nice. He got the probe.
Definitely. Yeah, was that the only probe that's across the map? Or there's no more shield batteries with this or anything? Okay.
He might just be thinking to just do like a stalker contain, which will still work because he needs to get a siege tank to escape. And he can still burn money from his opponent this way.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to force as much money to get spent and trying to deal with this as possible. The stalker's just trading here. Going to force some repairs. Good job by the Reaper. Boop. Find himself some time. As there is a probe making its way across the map, so potentially going to be adding on more here, as Widowmine at the top of that ramp going to be very punishing to these stalkers if they're not careful.
Yeah, I wouldn't go up there. Don't go up that road!
Don't do it! Okay, good moves.
This is barely not in range from there, thankfully, for him.
Yeah, and he could add on a Twilight Council behind this, as his natural expansion gets added on as well, and looks like thinking about backing off. He's considering it here. On the other side, of course, Tech Lab getting added on for HeroMarine with that starport on the way, so he will very soon be able to push down this ramp, finish clearing everything out, and secure that natural base. So if you're in this position as HeroMarine, going up against this proxy gate opener, how do you change from your standard here? We have what still looks pretty similar to a 1-1-1 you would see in a traditional opener.
Well, there's a few things that make this tricky. Like, you can try to do a mine drop, which is not a bad way to try and make your opponent go home. Without a tank, it's very hard to get down your ramp. Like, Marines without stim, they suck. Like, the stalkers are going to pick away at him, and he's able to reinforce there instantly, because it's not even just, it's like, there's a proxy gate, sure, but now that warp gate's done, he gets fast warp-ins in his opponent's base.
Right.
And if he puts on enough pressure, we might even see him bring a sentry here later on and just be ready to pinch him at the ramp. But there's no universe where these Marines should be able to deal with these. So the siege tank's the most important part of the puzzle. And then once Blink comes out and you try to get that tank down the ramp, well, things can get very, very complicated.
Yeah. Very tough spot for HeroMarine right now, as that Blink is still just about 75% done. The Widowmine's moving into the natural base. Oh my goodness. Okay. Gets a few workers and keeps it alive. Once again, HeroMarine doing a nice job of being realistic, not overextending with those drops, keeping them alive.
And this is tricky, though, because there's the thing about the siege tank is you're going to have to bring it down the ramp to actually cover the entire natural. He could push it a little far forward on the lip there, and at that point, then an observer might be able to easily let stalkers blink onto it. The 2 tanks is definitely ideal, though, because you don't want him to be able to blink on 1 without getting punished really hard.
Yeah, and now with that second one getting set up, should be enough to force this back for real.
Yeah,
We'll see.
finish blink, get charge. I mean, if you wanna make Terrans mad, just start charge and take a 3rd right now, and then build 2 forges.
Yeah, and then just sit back and laugh as you can pretty much just coast the rest of the game if you have that setup. I mean, it's a very tough situation for HeroMarine to deal with, as those Widow Mines did get cleaned up as part of that drop.
I'm going to say one thing. And when I talked about what makes Protoss good versus Terran, a big thing that I love talking about is worker count and chrono boosting out probes. When you do builds like this, it sounds fun, it looks fun, but he actually needs to still get more damage done. These Stalkers have a lot of opportunity with Blink here, but if he doesn't get, and I think he will get a lot of damage, and he could even snipe Stim. But if he doesn't get something like that, I mean, it's actually not good to be on 2 base versus 2 base with even workers, because at this point, he was 49 to 41 as workers, and now he's going to get a medevac, and this is where things are nice, because he should be able to get the reactor, and he can just blink away from these Marines.
Yeah, he just has near unlimited staying power here, as long as he's just not too crazy with his units.
I'm surprised he dodges out that fast. Yeah, now he's gonna lose the observer.
Yeah, I would expect him to try and trade out with that a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think he could have gotten more for his money there. I guess he's just trying to focus on his micro back at home. But if he's able to pick all those units off, then I'd YOLO on the tech lab.
Absolutely. Charge and that +1 armor on the way, looking to make.
If this was the new patch, Stim would be done now, I think.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Just food for thought. And then he'd have a much easier time getting these Stalkers off his back, but he's got to wait just a little bit longer.
Combat shield's going to help give them a little bit extra durability here. What is it, 10 HP? Is that right?
Yeah, that's very nice. One more hit they can take from a Stalker.
Adds up, especially as these Stalkers look to abuse their superior range. 6 gateways finishing getting added up here for DnS, taking them up to that magical number of 8.
He moved that observer away right before the medevacs loaded up, so it's actually a really nice break for HeroMarine if he can get a squad out. Yeah. Oh, he's looking to catch the Stalkers. No, okay.
This is very
He won't catch them because he moved back to the slow zones, but that's a bit unfortunate. So he's going to scan, he's looking for the observer. Oh, he might! Ooh. He might get behind him.
Okay.
He goes up north. That's really nice.
Yeah, going to have a lot of opportunity to open up some damage on him, picking off quite a few. This is very nice.
Yep, and it's also creating space for the move out.
Very nice as he moves through those slow zones in the center of the map. That 3rd base of DnS now going to be in jeopardy. Shield battery and cannon starting to get added on here. Sentry's going to be very important with those force fields. Try and keep that bio out, keep them at range. These tanks are going to be very nice for controlling the battlefield for HeroMarine. The observer finally sees this, so sees exactly where this army is coming from. And here we go.
There's the tank sieging up.
Ooh. Okay, not the best first force fields here. Not catching a lot of that bio. Has enough to do that maybe once or twice more.
Well, this is the most important part. Get the tanks in range where they can at least siege by the cannons, and that's what's going to open this up because it's going to burn the shield battery energy. Zealots do charge forward, but good focus fire. The tanks focus down his sentry, and now they're focused down the Immortal. Siege tanks can kill Immortals. You just got to focus fire. That's the biggest thing with the tanks, and the Stalkers are going to give chase. Almost want to just run around and grab those, just the Stalkers. The Zealots you don't really care about in this situation. There's so many techie power units you can grab. One of the Immortals barriers does get procced.
Second Immortal just now getting here from that rally. Now back up to 2 as bio starts to get low. Medevac energy runs out. Going to be backing off for just a minute here.
3rd command center's done. He's going to start floating it over. Medevacs are getting low on energy. Some of them are getting low on health.
Yeah, going to be a very nice, a bountiful banquet here for these Stalkers if they're able to stay alive. This bio doing what it can. Decent force fields here, but still a lot of those Marauders alive in the back.
I'm about to get nervous, Cold Terran, because +2 armor is getting close to finishing.
Sure is.
There are charged Zealots on the field. The upgrade advantage with charge lots is what makes them so damn good. Now, HeroMarine did get an armory this game, but it's not done yet, so he's going to be behind on the upgrades for attack versus armor for a very long time, especially if DnS is aware enough and just immediately gets +3 armor.
Oh, man. Yeah, it just makes them so oppressive to deal with
He does.
immediately.
Literally,
Oh,
the instant it finishes, he starts +3 armor and Chrono Boost. Chrono Boost it. Do it. Do it. Maybe he wants units. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay to have units too, DNS.
That's fine.
I understand you have dreams, you have goals.
Let him off the hook this time as Bio chasing off the Stalkers once again. Seeing a little bit of run by heading towards the third base of HeroMarine. A couple of Zealots or something.
Now, do you think if a Stalker gets hit by Concussive Shell, its cooldown for Blink should be slowed down too? You know what I'm saying? Make it a little harder to get away?
I think if the slow fields make the buildings make units slower, I think that they should.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Good. You're not fired yet.
Widow Mines. Getting set up here. Decent spread on them. Not burrowing the rest of them. Want to make sure he maintains his shots for as long as possible.
Watching Marauders try to kill Zealots. Remember when Marauders shot in 2 as well?
That was a good time.
That was the worst time. They were even worse versus Zealots. You
Yeah,
could not. You'd have like 3 Stim Marauders shooting 1 Zealot and it'd kill all of them.
Yeah, exactly. What's the problem? That sounds great.
Right, I changed my mind. You're fired.
Nice job by HeroMarine keeping the units around here and limiting the effectiveness of these run-bys. I like DnS trying to go for these without sending a Warp Prism over, you know, just kind of rallying some units across. And look at his map vision spread, by the way, as well. A couple units all across that mini-map.
This is the type of situation, by the way, where a Raven would be worth $1 million.
So valuable.
A Dorito cannon into center mass of this army, he would be able to Rafflecopter over it, other than the force fields. The Zealots are really what holds it together. Anti-armor missile is something that is hard to squeeze in, I know, but would be invaluable.
Is it that hard to squeeze in? Like, is the timing that tight?
Listen, Terran players are experts at complaining, and the #1 complaint that Terran players have made for the last 10 years has been that it's impossible to get a tech lab on a starport because you need medevacs.
That's fair enough. I can see the argument for it. Oh, these one-of-mine shots!
Those are amazing mine shots.
Wow.
Still has the EMPs available too.
Yeah, and that +2 weapons just finished up. +2 armor just about done as well.
The only issue is
timing.
So we gotta be a little nervous about the Colossus and the Colossi count growing, since he doesn't have Vikings, and there's a lot of meat covering for them. But those EMPs, this Protoss army is very, very weak right now.
Yeah, this 4th Nexus goes down just about uncontested. Has to back off from this. Thermal Lance is now done as the 2nd Colossus gets added onto this. That should be enough to force HeroMarine back for now. Liberator count added on with this as well. Going to really help with that zone control. And actually might just be going for harassment here on the backside. Ooh, big fight, big blink as well.
The supply lies a little bit though. Like a lot of these Zealots are very low. Almost could take a fight if he hadn't just been jumped right there. If he'd been able to land a few more EMPs over
force
this,
fields.
would have done a lot.
A bit more of that bile. Liberator's starting to get set up at the 3rd and the natural of DnS. We'll see how much they'll be able to get done as the army of DnS continues to posture on the outside here. There, those worker kills starting to ramp up and deny mining time. This is going to be such an inconvenience for DnS here. The freedom getting spread to all of these probes. They're free from the oppressive workforce that they've been a part of for so long. Get to take a break.
Yeah,
good guy here,
Liberators are. We hereby pardon you from life.
Taking them out of existence as Colossus trading out here. Vikings still not in too great of a number, trying to do the best.
DT backstab.
Yeah, it gets 8, 9. Ooh, meanwhile, more probes are dying. 6 went down, 7 went down.
It's a worker bloodbath.
Really is a dangerous game to be a harvester here on Turbo Cruise. Tom Cruise, excuse me. +2 weapons. Finishing up here very soon for DnS. As HeroMarine once again on the march. Now even on bases, looking to once again make sure this 4th Nexus cannot go up.
All right, he's going to move in.
Ooh, those sentries.
Gets a Colossus pre-fight. The Stalkers are going to blink up though. 2nd Colossus is dead. There's still one alive.
Back for so long against those Colossus as well.
The arc here is really good. A lot of the Zealots got caught behind the Stalkers, and now he's got all the Colossi dead. There's a Disruptor though, so you need to be very careful.
Very careful indeed.
If he had servos though, he could land the Vikings and they'd instantly die to the Immortals. It'd be so cool.
Man, that'd be sick. Oh, great target fire on the Disruptor as well. Goes down. Here come the Vikings. and they immediately die. But it's not. But it's still not going to matter. Pushing forward, the bio gets on
GG.
top of it. GG.
Well done. HeroMarine makes it out in second place in this group. I think even that, quite a surprise for people tuning in today. I expected Big Gabe to rock the Protoss boat here, but he instead is going to escape by the skin of his teeth. Very well done, though.
Yeah,
very well done.
Very well done indeed. You know, a little bit shaky there in game number 2. Brought it back in game 3 with some great army movement, great positioning. Really well done. Congrats. Making it out here in second place.
That's right. So Group B for Baguette has concluded. Here are the results as they stand. Petit Drogo made it out in first place. Did not drop a map today. Shout out to you, Drogo. And Big Gabe is able to redeem himself against DnS as he will make it out in second place. Ladies and gentlemen, that does it for WCS Europe Challenger Group B. We are going to be going to a quick little break, and when we return, probably time to go get yourself a nice beverage because we're going to NA. And things are going to get weird. They're going to get dirty. It's going to be like watching a mud wrestling competition, but it's nerds. So prepare yourselves mentally, physically, emotionally. We'll try to do the same. When we come back, WCS America Challenger Group B. We'll see you there.